Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Alright, so this should be part 3, I think, of what's probably going to be a 4-part series on this Machinist tools pick. This is box number 3. This is from the same location, but this stuff was picked from a different box, so it had to be segregated, so to speak. And take a quick look at what's in the box here before I dump it all out or go through it. And I'll just take a quick peek in there and we'll get ready to go through this. So I got the contents of this entire box for 30 bucks. Let's start with this large surface gauge that I spotted. And then in the same toolbox, poked around in the drawers and found these 2 rods. So I think this is going to be another one of the Starrett's, the big one. The pins are actually still free on this one. All 4 pins. That's good. Yeah, this definitely looks like a Starrett. And like a lot of these Starrett's, the bases aren't marked. But since these rods were in the box with it, I would not be surprised at all if one, if not both of these rods are Starrett rods. And like this one here definitely looks like a Starrett rod. You can see the end. So you can see the end has like a little metal disc attached to it, a little piece that actually stops the rod from being able to be pulled all the way through. This other rod appears to be missing that piece, but it looks like maybe it might have been something on there. Yep, so it turns out this one with the rust on the top here is a genuine Starrett rod. It's marked so. Right there. Whereas this appears to be a reproduction. Matter of fact, when I look at it closer, I can actually see turning marks where it looks like it was turned, and they didn't bother getting out all the marks from that process. Whereas this, clearly looks like it was better made. And there's also a very slight, almost imperceptible difference amongst the tips right there. Yeah, so if it wasn't for the rust on the end of this one, it probably would go in there. Well, I cleaned up the end here and was able to get it in, and then it got stuck again because there was a rust spot on the side here that I didn't clean up. So I'm just going to have to clean that up a little bit better, and then I'll have a nice little surface gauge. This is the largest in the Starrett series, and I think they had an A, B, C, and D in this series. And I think the only difference between the C and the D was actually the size of this rod, that they shared the same size base. So I have one of these now. I got a little while back, and I've had that up for sale for a while, and not really much action on it. I'll have to drop the price on that one. And the reality is, they would probably do just fine on eBay. This one's got that nice finish on it. This one's actually nicer than the other one. Also, in the other one, somebody had removed the original adjustment knob and put on like a larger one to make it easier, which kind of makes sense, but I think it takes away from the integrity of the collectability of this thing, because this is a genuine antique, and I don't know what I'm going to end up doing with that rod there. Also, just for the hell of it, I grabbed that other one that I had here, and you can see that the only difference is that this wheel right here is different on this one, but this is actually the same as the other one. This one, I just realized that this one's got the 12-inch rod on it, so I could put this Fugazi rod with this one as just an add-on. Oh, I know what I should do. I should take that original 12-inch rod that even has the clamp on it, clamping nut, and take that and pair it with the 18-inch rod with that nicer one and sell that complete, because Starrett actually had they had a part number for when that surface gauge came with both rods. So, here's the 56 series. Those were smaller, and then there was the 57 series, and then this is the 257 series. It actually explains that the 257A came with a 9-inch spindle and has a 2 13/16 by 2 1/8 inch base. And then the 257B was the same base with a 9-inch and a 12-inch rod. Then the 257C was a wider base, the one I just showed you, which was a 3.5 by 3 3/16 inch base, and with a 12-inch rod. And then the 257D was you take that same base, only you put with it a 12-inch and an 18-inch rod. So I can make a 257D by doing what I was just saying I was going to do. Oh, I should have finished looking in the box first. Got 3 more rods here. Again, these might be original Starretts in it. For some reason, the little metal piece on the end was removed. That's clearly marked Starrett right there. As is this one right in this rusty area right here. This one looks like a genuine one, but it's, oh yeah, there it is. And that one's marked Starrett right there, but it's got an older looking script on it. And see, it's skinnier, so that might be for a 56 series, which I do not know whether or not I ended up getting one of those out of this lot or not. A lot of the stuff that was in this box was just stuff that I recognized and was like, well, you know I was going to get it cheap if I bundled it, so I just grabbed a bunch of stuff and threw it in the box. Case in point, I grabbed all the calipers that I found, and I don't really look for these much anymore or value these very high anymore, because I have so many that I've kept for myself, and then I finally went through and weeded out my collection, and I kept the only ones I keep now, if I don't have the size, are the Starretts that are the round. You know, if you cut a cross section, it would be round, and those are the Tool Maker series of calipers. So these might be a different brand. Oh, see, that's a pair of Scribers from the Tool series. Again, even though these flatten out at the end here, they start out as round. So again, these are going to be the Tool series. And there's Starretts I could see. We have 3 more pair of round shanks. But you see, that's a Lufkin. And that itty bitty one right there is a Lufkin. I haven't seen one this size in Lufkin, I don't think. Whereas this little pair right here, those are Starretts. I might not have these. I'll go check these sizes against what I have. But before I head over there, let's look at the rest of this stuff. So these are kind of unusual, the design on these. These are just stamped JP, so there's no way we're going to know. I doubt we're ever going to find out who made these. Yeah, interesting design though. These are some Starretts. Starrett. Funny, I thought that was oil because it was shiny. It's just some glue or something good on there. So I wonder who made these little things. Sadly, we may never know on these too. They're clearly marked "Made in the USA" right over here, but does anybody recognize these? They're kind of neat. They're direct reading. Let's see, those I might keep, because there's probably not a heck of a lot of value there, especially since I can't identify them. Hey, all right, so one of those Starretts I didn't have. I did have this one. And the other one, this is the one I was keeping for myself. And you can see that the not as nice as the pair I just put away. So upgraded these. And now I actually think I have a complete set of these. I think these were only in 4 sizes. So that's cool. Next little group we have here, we have another one of these indicator clamps. I keep coming across these lately. I just sold another one. This one, like many of the other ones, appears to be unmarked. So there's no way to determine for sure whether or not it's a Starrett or something else. It's also missing the little disc that goes here. So the last one of these I had, I think that it was missing this. I think I only got like $5 or $6 for it, but beats having it hang around. This is a indicator holder rod that would go on a like a mag base or something. No markings on that either, but that can just be a handy thing to have. These are nice. These are Starrett 289 rule holders. This is the two sizes. The 289, smaller one here is the 289A and the 289B. And what this is for, I don't have any right here on the, oh actually, I still got the big 24-inch blade here. So if you have two of these Starrett blades with the groove in them like this, you can take two blades. You can use this one right here. This is the bigger one, the 289, what is it, B? And the way this works is you actually put this on here like this. Doesn't have to have the groove in it. I don't know why I thought that was the groove. But anyways, you clamp this on to that like that. And then you take a second blade and you clamp it in here and you turn your two blades into a square. And for whatever reason, these are actually a little bit pricey. So that was a good score to find those laying in that toolbox being forgotten about. Two scales that will lay in there. This one is a metric one. It is a 300 millimeter, made in the USA, so that's interesting. It's a metric, but we don't know who makes it. Well, on this side it's 64ths and 32nds. Maybe that's not metric. No, it is. Yeah, it's millimeters. So that's actually nice satin finish. Unfortunately, it's engraved. But it's nice, easy to read one. And you get the best of both worlds, you know. This is probably a Starrett. Yeah, this is an Ellis Starrett satin rule, 12-inch. Not bad. A pair of parallel clamps that I saw in there. I believe these are unmarked, so they're just no-name parallel clamps. Got quite a few of these, so probably. We'll see. If nobody wants to give me a few bucks for them, then I'll just throw them in with my extra clamps. And then this is a very early little set. It says it's a number 77A, I believe. Looks like maybe it's 3 sevens. Looks like it might be a number 777A radius gauge set. It's got a long patent number on it. It's pretty early. 1/32 to 17/64. So, I mean, look at this case. Looks early as hell, huh? So I don't know if there's any missing in here because there are a couple extra slots. Let's see. Although 17/64 is the largest one, and looks like 3/64 is the smallest. What did I say? This is 1/32. So 3/64 is 1.5 32nds. So looks like it's missing the smallest one. Unless it's misfiled, because that's possible too. I'm not going to worry about it. Just going to blow it out cheap because I don't need it. It's got to be a... Man, I wonder how old this is. That's got to be really early. All right, we're almost done. Well, I should say we're almost done with this box and this particular part. All right, this is the last of it. So this is probably a number 56. Oh no, this is a Brown and Sharpe. This is a little Brown and Sharpe surface gauge. So that's kind of cool that was in there. Little itty bitty sucker. It's clearly marked Brown and Sharpe right there. Got another pin vise. Not unlike the last one, it's early enough that they didn't bother putting a letter designation on there to indicate size. Here is a, oh, this is a Brown and Sharpe screw pitch gauge. So that's kind of neat. Looks like it's a number 680 Brown and Sharpe screw pitch gauge. Looks like a shop-made sign bar. It's kind of neat that it's almost like it's blued or something. I wonder if this was a I wonder if this is when you know, some guy who did gun bluing or something. I don't know. Here is a scribe. So somewhere in all that mess that I didn't end up seeing was probably a clamp to hold this onto. Well, that's kind of big for that. This might have went to one of those bigger Starretts. A lowly, all by itself, little hole gauge here. That's a general, and that's the side that only one side moves. So this isn't a self-centering one. Oh, and then this caught my eye. This fancy little schmancy thing. Now this appears to have a magnet in it. So it can sit like that. Okay. If memory serves me, I want to say this is called a chair edge finder. Chair type edge finder. I think you put it on like that on the edge of something in the vise. So does that make sense? I think that's what this is. And actually, it's got the name right on it. It's brought to you from the fine folks at SPI. They're calling it a magnetic single edge finder. So, I don't know. I'm going to look up how to use that. I'll probably end up keeping that in my little tricks. And the final item I just saw laying there, and I saw this little tiny holster, and I was like, oh, what's that? I pulled it out, and I was like, oh, that's a Scriber. So it just caught my eye. So I don't know. Oh boy, it would be bad for that to catch your eye. I really don't know anything about it. So it's pretty long for Scriber, very sharp. So I don't know if this originally was stuck in the end of a square or something, you know, stored in a square, and for some reason the guy just made a little special holder for it, or if you just found this for something. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. So it intrigued me, and I bet you no one will give me any money for it. So I'll probably just end up keeping it. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button. And if you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing. I'll be back with part 4 with the final lot of items from this pick. Hope you come back. Take care. Alright, so that's going to